watching me like a nigga is cable. I'll be on no label, but my clothes be all label.
It's 2 o'clock on the East Coast right now. Yeah, TCF. Yo, look, I run with the same squad, cut from the same cloth, with shooters that can carry 2 guns in the same palm. Punk bitches always talk that tough shit when they soft. Tension gets so thick, you gotta cut with a chainsaw. You broke and I'm on, cause I took risks when y'all wouldn't. I'm getting rich off of bookings, treating pencils like bullets. I'm aiming at your favorite rapper, I won't miss when I pull it. Before I load the clip, I write my ops initials on bullets. Shit, soon as I start rapping, I witness the fear from niggas who don't live up to they hype or won't get to compare. Skip when I hear.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of a No Label Convo. Got another special guest here today. Oh, no, thank you. Shout out to everybody that's been subscribing on YouTube, of course, liking on Instagram, following, sharing. Definitely showing love, as always.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to our sponsors.
Shout out to
Guap Coin, cryptocurrency for the culture. If you haven't yet, download your the app on your Apple device, on Android. It's in the Google Play Store. Guap Wallet, it's Guap Multi Wallet.
Yeah, you can use it for Bitcoin too, so multi-purpose.
Yep. And we sitting here with somebody special from this Western New York region. If you ain't up to date with her bars, you sleeping.
You're not tapped in.
You're not tapped in. You got co-signed by all the hip hop legends, from Clark Kent to Primo. Without much more to do, welcome Shay Noir. How are you?
I'm good. Thank y'all for having me.
No problem. Appreciate you pulling up.
Yeah.
No problem.
Ooh-wee. So, where should we start? So, you grew up in Buffalo, New York, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you say you moved out to Falls later in your life. How much impact did the city of Buffalo have on you prior to leaving? Could you say?
I mean, I was around for like when Arcadia was big here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was going to Arcadia every
Every Saturday.
Yeah, that was a thing. That was my
Didn't even
spot.
skate half the time.
Yeah, no, I never skated. And don't let them have that, because remember they used to do the clear the floor?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, they used to be crazy. But yeah, I mean, it just was, just typical how it is growing up in Buffalo. Like, I'm from like more East Side Broadway area.
Okay.
I was back and forth.
What
Like
part of Broadway? Bailey or like closer to Jefferson?
closer to Bailey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I grew up on Broadway for a couple years too.
Yeah, like Lydell, Gatcho. Yeah, like on that side.
Oh, okay. Dope.
But yeah, I actually used to stay around the corner too at one point. From the studio DJ Shay had on Park Ridge.
Oh, wow.
I used to stay around the corner from there, and
That's what's up.
I didn't know, cause my godmom used to record there.
Wow.
But I didn't know for a while it was a studio. I was a kid walking to the 7-Eleven there, and I used to see mad people out there all the time. And I remember when I was younger, I remember seeing Benny one time too. He had braids at the time, and that's how you know it's just a minute ago.
Yeah, that's wild.
The heavy mixtape day.
Yeah, but yeah, so just just typical. You know how it is. It's typical
Facts.
growing up in Buffalo.
Yeah, and what's so cool about our city, and like why I bring that up, is because like it's so many layers to it. Like I grew up in that like that uptown area right by Park Ridge, but it's like you can cross one street and it's completely different. You know what I'm saying? So like I would pass DJ Shay's studio, his house all the time, but I wasn't aware of the music side. So when I got older, it was just cool to like really like flat look back on it and like, yo, that shit's crazy how it all tied together.
Yeah, it's crazy. I always say like that part of Buffalo is historical to me, because that's where all that's where legends were made.
Literally,
like, I went
everybody
there and
had to
recorded
come
when I
through
started.
there.
Yeah, I recorded there a few times. Like when I started doing music, like you're not really from Buffalo. If you ain't, you're not a Buffalo artist if you ain't never recorded at least once.
It's like the Atlanta, like the Dungeon Family. Like everybody had to come through that studio.
That's a fact.
You had to go to that. You got to go to Shay's studio, and like Shay was one of the first. He's one of the first engineers that didn't want me to punch. Like he didn't like me punching. I used to punch all the time, like 'cause I run out of breath. He's like, you ain't finna punch, keep going. Like running out of breath, taking out words. He was not with it.
Shoot, man. Rest in peace,
Yeah, for
DJ
sure. Rest
Shay.
in peace.
Rest in peace.
And literally every interview we've done or convo we've done, he always comes up every time.
Yeah,
So
He's a
definitely
Buffalo
impacts.
legend.
Yeah, he
You gotta
impacts a
talk
lot of
about
people.
that. Yeah.
he's just interwoven in everything that we have going now. Like he plays a part in one way or another, whether you know it or not. Man, that's a beautiful thing. So when did you start? You were producing first, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get into? When did you like get into music?
I had a guy when I moved to the Falls. I had a guy I was dating in high school who was a producer, and he taught me how to make. He actually gave me his Fruity Loops program, and I would go home every day and go in my mom's attic and try to learn. Like, I didn't have a keyboard at the time, so I had to punch everything in the actual like laptop keys and stuff. I learned. I don't know. I kind of taught myself. It was self-taught. Like he would give me plugins, but I learned how to do everything myself.
That's dope. That's dope.
So did you have like rapping in mind when you were making beats, or did you just want to be a producer?
I just was making beats at the time, and then I just started rapping later on, like maybe like a year later. Yeah.
Okay. So was your producer name, was it always Shay Noir?
Nah, I got that later, way later. It was like maybe 5 or 6 years later I got that name.
What
Yeah.
was your first rap?
I don't even think I had a rap name at first. I was going by my government at the time because
Okay.
I wasn't serious about it. Like I was putting music out online, but I wasn't really serious about it. So I just had my name that was on my, at the time this was MySpace when it was big. I used to put it on a music page, and I was just going by my regular name.
Dope. Yeah, because it's funny because like I've been seeing you got your break, and I was like, I've been hearing the term name Shay Noir for a while. So it's like I love seeing like people be thinking stuff is an overnight success, and it's like really people been putting in work.
I was on a scene like just doing a lot of local shows for like 3-4 years. Outside of shows, passing out. The crazy thing is, Spesh had a show some years ago out at the Evening Star in Niagara Falls. Him and Benny had a show there. This is when Benny was in Trust, and it was Class Murder and all of them and Green Double.
Oh wow!
And I went to that show, and I was outside the show passing out CDs, like outside the door at the Evening Star, because the Evening Star is on the boulevard. I was outside of there passing out CDs, like, you know, grinding, like doing my thing, trying to
hand to hand
wiggle my way in.
Yeah, and it's it's so funny to me because like how the Griselda team and how everything blew up in Western New York is like it started really popping during the streaming era, but the people who got on here was moving hand to hand. Like we had a solid ass foundation in that hand to hand. Like,
and they easily adapted to the streaming era too. They just it's kind of like they just applied that same hustle but to the internet.
Yep.
Yeah, man. It's definitely like one Buffalo. It's so rare, yo, because it's like we really like encapsulating that golden. People like call it the golden era of hip hop. It's like we're like the new like 2.0 type shit. Like, and it's really it's something dope. It's something dope.
Do you realize that though? Because I know it's hard to really realize and like see that type of stuff when you're in the moment and you're like a part of making it happen.
It take other people telling me.
Yeah.
Like I just be going with the flow. It be taking other people to tell me.
Word. So you producing? Did you start rapping once you like graduated high school, or when did the rapping come
No, I
into
was
play?
in high school and I was rapping. I was doing more like poetry, spoken word. Like I was rapping, but again, I was doing it like when I felt like it, or you know, when I was in the mood. Like I would rap to my friends, my family. Sometimes I had this it's this corner store down the street from where my mom's house is at. I used to go down there and get stuff from the store, and at the time it was a guy that was working in there. He knew I was a rapper because he had heard me rapping and freestyling there one time, and I used to kick little freestyles for him when I was in there. But I just kind of started off. I wanted to be a producer more first, just because I actually enjoyed making beats more than actually rapping.
Okay.
But it took me a minute to really take the rapping aspect of it serious.
Okay, word.
What portion of your music do you produce now? Do you still produce like a
I'm
good
back
amount of it,
producing.
or? Do you still produce a good amount of your music now, or?
Oh yeah, I just put out my first self-produced EP. After 12, it came out in December of 2020, and I'm working on a fully produced album called The Lotus Child, and I'm producing all beats.
Okay.
But yeah, I had took a break from producing because when I started rapping full time, and then I was around like Spesh, like Buck Wild, Primo. These are like, they got some stuff.
I'm gonna leave that to
I was
them,
like
but,
on some like real weird, insecure, like, oh, this is intimidating, like, because they was on top, they was top notch with it. So I took a couple years off from it. But last year I had put out the Apollo album. I seen some success from that. Like that was kind of like my breakout album.
Okay.
But I kind of I said I got room to still drop because it's like 6 months left in a year. So I'm like, I got room to drop. I was like, I'm about to just produce a whole joint. And, it took me like a month to finish it, and I sat on it for a little bit, and then I put that joint out end of the year.
Dope. Yo, I wonder. What do you think was that key point where you noticed it like, yo, I can do this? Like,
I would say Benny was showing me love from the beginning. He was one of the first artists from up here, from upstate, to show love to me. And I met Benny like 2015, 2016. We did a song together. And he was showing me love then and just telling me to keep going, giving me some encouraging words. So, and then Westside Gun shouted me out. And then that's when I met Spesh in 2018. Like,
okay.
So I was like, nah, it's possible. I just gotta grind it out, and just take them losses and keep going.
Oh yeah.
So one of your tracks, because it reminded me of the song Money Orange, I think. You was like, I quit my job, then the next week I made my first 10 bands.
Yeah.
So was it like around that time, or?
Yeah, because you know
was
what?
Was that the moment where you realized?
Yeah, it's real. I would say even before I quit it, I realized it's getting real, because I quit it and didn't put no 2 weekend, nothing. I just was like, I know this was before Thriller the Hunt 2 came out. So I was like, oh, I know this probably gonna do something for me. And I got tired of, like, I done had a million jobs, like, on and off, just finding jobs, quitting, finding jobs, getting fired. Like, but I don't know, I had this thing in my head, like, it was like a month before it was supposed to come out. I was like, this gonna change my life. It's gonna do something for me. So I just took that leap of faith and I quit. And literally that next week, I don't even think I really told Spesh that I had quit my job, because I was going up to Rochester to record up there. And I was just figuring it out as I go. I quit. I ain't had no money saved, none of that. He found out that maybe like a week or two later, and we had a show out in the city, and that was actually one of my first sold out shows that I did. We had a show in the city, and I came back with a $10,000 check.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was smart. I invested into a studio. That saved a lot of money. Like a lot of artists. I really advise every artist, when you get that money, invest into a home studio if you got the space, because that saves a lot of money.
Facts.
You ain't got to book that studio time, because they be head cracking for that studio time. Too.
They do. And then if you're up and coming too, you get a lot of features. That's how sometimes you make a lot of your money too. My features, what I'm getting paid now is not what I was getting paid originally. So I'm like, it don't make sense for me when I'm getting paid and then got to pay this for a studio session. It's just taken away from what I'm doing. So put that money in there, and them features pay that money, pay that studio money off, and then now everything else is profit.
Facts. She's saying some key terms. Please take
notes.
Take
That
notes.
was some advice I got years ago from somebody, like, invest into a studio. You're going to need it. It ain't got to be nothing big and crazy. Just get something you can record in. And all you need is a good mic, get your interface, and you're good. Like, I'm about to upgrade. I'm going to upgrade my mic that I got right now. But, hey, just get you a decent mic.
Yeah, decent mic, healthy interface, you know what I mean?
You good.
Yeah, and it makes it easier to create when you have your own equipment, because if I'm just come up, you could just record. It's hard, like, I come up with an idea.
You got the melody in your head.
Like, damn, I got to hit the manager of the studio. Can I get the time by then? I don't even, damn, I got the motivation or...
Yeah, and you got to have pull, because there's no studios in Niagara Falls. Like, if I went and recorded in the Falls, I was always at somebody's house recording. You got to have pull to get last minute sessions here in certain studios in Buffalo. Like, I witnessed it. Like, I'm able to do that now, but Like that's when you ain't really got that reach.
Yeah, nah, that's a fact.
You gotta wait 2 weeks or a month, like to get in the studio. So
that's a fact.
That's too much.
Yeah, it's definitely. She hitting a lot of heads. She putting a lot of gems. Keep your network good. Invest in your studio. Invest in yourself.
Yes, you gotta invest in yourself.
And knowing how to manage your money, like invest in yourself so you can take the profits from your features, from your shows, like
even merch. That's income.
That's big right there. Yeah, merch
It's income.
right
Even
now.
if you won't start off making a lot, it could pay. I always look at it. It could pay a bill. Like I don't care if I'm only like at first I was like I don't care if I'm only making 100 and 200. That's taking a bill off my plate. Cause like if you're doing music full time, it's not like you gotta figure like. You gotta have I would say you have to have different streams of income, and calculating your monthly bills. Like you still have to worry about these things and make sure them things are paid. So, any source of income is beautiful. I don't care if it's $50. It's gonna pay something. Like, and it's gonna keep growing. Like growth is more important than all that other stuff. People be trying to do that overnight success. Like growth is what. That creates longevity. So
yeah, I think it's like a quote. It takes 10 years to make an overnight success or some shit like that.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So you who instilled like those gems in you to like really like you put a lot of thought into how you move and how you operate. A lot of younger rappers and stuff like that, they don't have that, or I don't say they weren't given that, but like where did you get that from?
That's a lot of wisdom I gained over the years. Just certain different losses I had to take to get me there. My mom instilled a lot of jewels in me very young. I was always the oldest in the house. Okay. So, how that comes with being the oldest and you got younger siblings that you're taking care of.
That's facts.
It brings a natural wise side to you. Spesh instilled a lot of jewels in me when I first anytime I have a conversation with Spesh, I get a jewel. Like
yeah, that's a blessing.
He's a very wise man, my dad, he's very wise as well. Like but like I said, just my maneuvering through life and me making my own mistakes, just made me wiser and just very careful how I move. I'm very low key. Okay. It's knowing when to listen and when to talk, not saying too much. That comes with the game. I always say it's that longevity that comes along with it. If you want that, you gotta learn how to listen more than talking.
Yeah, you got 2 ears to hear. You only got one mouth.
You got to be able to look for those gems too, because like you said, every time you talk to Spesh, you take a gem.
Yeah.
A lot of people might have those same conversations with them. They might not take those gems because they not listening or looking for that.
Yeah, because they like I said, you gotta. A lot of people listen to respond. I'm quiet though. I've always been quiet. I'm very observant of my surroundings. I've always had to be that way because
that's facts.
I didn't grow up in the safest neighborhood, so. For me, like I said, I was the oldest, and I'm out with I always had to take my sisters everywhere with me. I got a little sister. I used to always have to take her with me, so it caused me to be okay. I'm, not that I'm looking like I'm paranoid, but I'm just chilling. Yeah, I'm observing the room.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because I grew up like that exact feeling, and I always was like quiet one in the room. I had to go with my brother everywhere, so it was. It's so awkward for me now to be like I have to come and talk to people and really like express myself, and it's like it took me a while to adjust to that. Being an artist, do you feel like does that shake you ever? Like okay, I gotta work a room, I gotta go network and do this type of thing.
Yeah, because I'm not a talker, so yeah, I had to get kind of shake that off. Even with interviews, like I didn't like doing interviews. Like I would say, I kind of like the last. I needed to though, because I'm gonna say this, like with this pandemic and just 2020 being the year it was, and 2021, it's a blessing, but it's still still got its trials.
Facts.
You need you gotta take a mental break. I think everyone at some point has had to take a mental break over this past, because we're going on a full year that this been going on. So, recently, I would say these past few months, I've been ducking interviews like crazy because I just haven't been in the mood and the space to talk.
No, that's real.
But it's nothing wrong with that. You got to take that mental space and then come back to it. I understand it's not that at some point I can't keep ducking them in because that's part of my job. But yeah, like trying to break up out of that. Just that's what I'm saying. Like just not saying too much, saying enough, and then leaving it at that. Like.
Word. It'll grow legs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's dope. Like you have a lot of like wisdom with you, and like it kind of it comes off in your demeanor. It comes through the music. Was that something you always like intended to put into the music?
Yeah, because I grew up, like, my mom used to talk to me like I was a grown, like, give me grown woman jewels. I was like 19 years old. I'm like, I don't know why my mom is, what is she talk? I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know why she's talking to me like that. But, like, it grew with me. Like, I would say it stuck with me. You know, things stuck with me. I have great memory. Like, so things just stuck with me as I grew. And that's, I don't know. I a lot of that is just how my mom moved. So, you know, that's one person I seen every day for I'm about to be 27, like 27 years of your life, and you see the same, you looking at the same person, you're gonna emulate that.
Facts.
So
Yeah, that's so dope, man. You spoke on making sure like people being in the right health space. How did like the pandemic and everything shutting down, how did that affect you mentally? Because as we know, artists have like really suffered in this with not being able to tour and do shows and stuff. So how has that affected you personally, and how have you
it makes it
adjusted?
hard to create, because you just, like, I remember when they had first shut it down, we couldn't even go outside.
Yeah.
And then it's like, now they opening everything up, but it's like people are testing positive, people dying from it. You know what I'm saying? I got a sister who has asthma. Like, I don't want to put nobody at risk, so I stayed away for a little bit. And then, you know, life didn't stop with this pandemic. Stop with the world stopping. Life didn't stop.
Facts.
So you got things you go through. You know, you may have been dealing with a family death. I would say this pandemic definitely has taken a toll on relationships.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Friendships. It's taking a toll on everyone. So, yeah, it make it hard to create, but you gotta, I don't know, you gotta shake it off. I don't know. That's why I say every artist gotta find their niche that brings that spark of creativity. Because I don't smoke or drink to do none of that. Like, I do it all off a sober head. So
Yeah, that's rare.
yeah,
That's very
I
rare.
got to. I've always been like that. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I haven't tried to drink. I feel a little bit, but nah, I'll be ready to go to sleep and talk and stuff. Like, I ain't trying to, yeah. I do it all off a sober head, because, you know, I want my full thoughts. Like, I know a drunk mind, you could speak a sober tongue still, but I want, like, I take my time and the way I craft things, I want it all to be something I remember.
Yeah, definitely. That's impactful, and I feel like it carries through your sound, like without even you having to like consciously like say it, like intentionally say it, but like you can feel it in the music. Because when I heard you, it was just like, I'm like, yo, let me go work out. Like, I need to go.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's crazy.
Facts,
And it's
bro.
like, even with, like, I mean, I'm not saying nothing about women who do this, but me, I used to go to a lot of studio sessions by myself, and I was half the time, sometimes I was the only girl in the sessions. I'm like, I'm not finna be the only girl here, drunk and high around a bunch of men. That's just not cool as no woman. Like,
That's not smart.
it's
Or
not
safe,
smart.
like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not smart. It's not safe at all.
Yeah.
Not saying anything about these people, but this is just how I was raised. Like, things that was instilled in me. Like when you drunk and high, like your senses is not as strong as they are when you are sober. You some people who can focus, but it's slightly off a little bit. So you know, just keeping my guard up. Like, I'm telling you, most of the time I be dolo, and I'm the only girl, so I'm like, nah, I gotta be able, you know, I gotta be able to see what's going on.
So do you feel like you got to bring that like extra when you in the booth, when it's just all men surrounded?
Oh
it's
yeah,
just you.
I'll be trying to knock their heads off.
Rightfully so.
Got to.
I ain't coming
Were
to
you
play, because
always
they ain't
like
coming to
that,
play.
or was it intimidating at first?
It was intimidating at first, because yeah, they wasn't letting up on me. And I told this story before. Like, my first verse that I gave to Spesh, he didn't like it. He told me to rewrite it. So I was like, okay, oh, you not playing. Like, you for real, you not just, you trying to, you serious about this. And he told me, he's like, no, I want you gonna be big. I want you to have a better verse. Like,
Word.
I want you to try, like, you know, like, try. Don't just think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna take some slack. Because he's like, I'm coming with my stuff. Like,
Word.
so you better come with yours.
That's dope that he was even able to like to do that for you, because some people may have been intimidated, like, yo, she
Nah.
and he the
That's
fact
what
that
makes him such a,
yeah, that's some
like,
real shit.
I'm like, Spesh is definitely one of the most thorough, genuine people I've met. Like, I look at him like a big brother. Now he kept it a buck because especially like I ain't letting up on you, and they gonna talk like and this is the same thing my cousin would tell me too. He's like, they already don't like female rappers like that. So if you're not coming with it, they gonna talk, they gonna dog you out. Like, so you gotta come with it.
That's dope.
And it's dope that you received it like that. That you could receive that constructive criticism.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of younger artists they'd have been in their feelings like, fuck you mean I need to rewrite my shit.
I'm good with constructive criticism. I told you my thing is growth. I'm just trying to grow. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? But we all got to get to that space of just growth. Just growing.
No, that's facts. How do you feel about the women in hip hop? As far as like where you feel the scene is, like, cause we've been seeing the blow up of Cardi B, Meg, just like people like Lotto. How do you feel about the space it's in right now? And like, do you feel like it's like kind of like off balance? Do you feel like it's dope emerging?
Like the scene of female rap. I mean, it's balance in it. It is. I feel like it's a. I don't see. This is the thing. I don't know if it's a safe space to be your authentic self in that lane. I don't know, because of what's being perpetuated. More of like on the internet. I would say the internet, the radio, what they're displaying. And the ones who are maybe not in that lane, it's more underground. So. Yeah, I don't know. Some days I'll be like, oh, it's balanced. And then other days I'm like, I don't think it is. It's because of what's being displayed more over, the underground scene.
Word. And it's like, because when I think of I don't say rappers and like artists who are women, it can easily get distorted. Like, oh, it's only this. You only see ass, and they selling sex appeal. But it's like there's so many women that got bars. Like I think of you. I think of Love the Genius. I think of like who are some of those women?
Wack.
Yeah, Tierra Whack.
Tierra Whack is nice.
Bruh,
Who are some of the women you hear and like, yo, like she's like.
Cyrock, Love the Genius, Tierra Whack. I like Mulatto. I think she's nice.
Yeah, well, I spit.
Yeah, Rapsody, of course. It's a few. Those might be like my favorite, probably the ones I actually listen to the most.
Who were some of your influences growing up then?
Of women?
Yeah. We could go women and you can just in general.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't grow up listening to a lot of female rappers. The one female rapper I heard a lot growing up and I did like was Foxy Brown. That was really the only one.
Yeah, you got the Foxy intro on the one.
Yeah, Foxy Brown. And my mom was an MC Lyte fan. And I didn't really get into her until I got older. And I was like, oh, she's nice. She was nice. Queen Latifah was dope too. Yeah. But again, I didn't grow up like listening to them. Like Nicki came like when I was in high school, and she was that was my girl. She was nice when she first came out. She was nice in the beginning of her career. She was nice.
What was the name of her first tape?
Beam Me Up Scotty, I think. Yeah, that one was hard. Yeah. So that was my girl. I was listening to her.
When she came out with Itty Bitty Piggy, I'm talking about you see dudes in the club.
Yeah. That one was crazy. That one is a classic. Like, that's classic. Yeah, that was my girl. So like, yeah, Nicki. Yeah, and then I used to like Eve. I used to think she was dope.
Yeah,
Eve was dope. I'm trying to think, like,
and then Nicki came out on Monster too.
Yeah,
had the best verse on there with Legends.
Yeah, she was nice. She got some legendary verses, but like, it's not really too many like that I grew up listening to a lot.
So what about just artists in general then?
Nas is like number one, of course. Nas, of course, Jay-Z, DMX, Jada Kisses, Beanie Siegel was being played heavy. See, the thing is, my mom did not play a lot of rap music growing up. Like, if she played rap music, it was like Jay-Z or DMX. I used to go to my aunt's house, and it was all like a bunch of my boy cousins and stuff over there. They was playing all of that, like Beanie Siegel and G-Unit. That's when I started hearing it when I would go over there, because I used to go over there every weekend. I used to spend my weekends over there, so that's when I get my chance to go and listen to that type of music, because my mom played a lot of like Sade, Mary was her girl. I grew up like Mary J. Blige. I said that's my second mama. Like,
Yeah, I remember you had a bar about Mary on there.
yeah, oh yeah. I grew up off of Mary. My Life album. That's that album raised me. Sade, Kim, Al Green.
Kim,
she was
fire.
into Bob Marley. Like my mom played a lot of like more R&B smooth stuff.
Word, that's dope.
But when I go over to my aunt's house, that's when I hear all the rap, and I was like intrigued. Like that was dope. So.
Yeah, that was the era I grew up off too.
Yeah, and it's like I was listening. Like I grew up listening to Nas, but it's like I'll say like probably like around my age when it started getting pushed to the side, like. And I wouldn't meet that many Nas fans, so I'm like, oh, well, I guess I got to keep this and hold this to myself. But when I hear your music, I can hear that influence, and it kind of like gives me that feeling.
Yeah,
like,
especially with like the storytelling, you like really paint the picture, the imagery.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like it makes me think of just like that kid on the bus with their headphones in, just like in their zone. Like,
Facts.
that shit is hard. What was it like when you working with people like Primo and people who have worked with those legends? I
met Primo once at a show. 2019, I met Primo. I drove up to the city. I think it was me and Spesh. I had drove up to the city, and I met him at a show. And that was my first and only time so far meeting Primo. But he's always showed love on like Instagram. Did I rap over? Yeah, I rapped over a Primo beat. My first introduction was over a Primo beat because it was on Spesh. It was on Spesh album. But no, that was dope. I mean, you know, just to be on a Primo beat as my first one, that was a moment for me. And then to meet him and he was playing my song and he went crazy to one of my bars. He was like, he looked at me and gave me that look. Yeah, but and then he just recently posted my song on his Instagram page a couple months ago of him scratching my song, like, and it's a song I produced, so that did something to me.
That's hard.
You know, so that was hard. That was dope. But,
that's so like people dream of doing stuff like that. Like
that was crazy.
How would you describe it? Is it surreal?
Yeah, I have my moments, but like I said, it be people around me like, yo, you really doing this? Like, and I'd be like, yeah, I am, because I'll be so in grind mode.
Yeah, you in the moment.
Yeah, I'm in the moment. So, yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, that's cool as hell.
On your I think it's As God Intended with Apollo Brown. I was watching the one interview that you did, and I think you said that like he already had like 15 beats or something picked out for you when he hit you up to do the project.
He already had the beats ready.
So tell us about that.
He hit me up on Instagram. I thought he just wanted to do a song. He was like, nah, I do full albums. So we talked on the phone that day. He hit me up for like maybe half an hour, and we exchanged texts, I would say throughout like maybe a month and a half. Once we got the business in order, we exchanged texts and phone calls. And crazy thing is, like, he's so strategic with his beats. They're like his babies. He sat on those beats for like 2 months before he sent them to me, but he already had them ready though. Cause I would be on the phone with him while he's playing them, and he's like, I just gotta tweak this, I gotta tweak that, add this, take that out. And he said he'd ride around and just listen to him. Cause what I learned from him, like, you gotta let the beats tell a story before the words get on there. And he had like the order and everything already kind of like worked out. We rearranged some things after I had, put my verses and stuff on there. But yeah, he had a vision already, just with the beats. So
did he have the title too already?
Yeah, the crazy thing is, like, the first title he threw at me was As God Intended. I was like, oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's it.
That's
so
dope.
I just kind of geared everything around that. And yeah, this was dope experience. I actually I went out there in Detroit to record around this time last year and came back, and that's when they started shutting everything down.
That's it. I went to Detroit for the first time. I want to say it was during the pandemic, and I didn't realize how similar it was to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, yo, it gives you that same vibe. And yeah, that's
Abandoned houses, all that type of
yeah, like abandoned houses, just even the feel, like even a lot of the people is just like I think that's the most like black city, like populace wise in the US. So yeah, like Detroit is love.
Yeah.
Detroit is definitely love.
How was it recording like Daddy's Girl though? Was that like an emotional record when you were recording it?
No, because a lot of these songs were written before I went down there. So I
Okay.
got all my emotions already out before I went and recorded it. So,
Yeah.
but nah, it was dope how it came together. I didn't even have a hook for it. And I was like, I can't think of a hook. He was like, just say something. And I just was in there, Daddy's Girl. And he's like, that's it. Just keep saying it.
That's cool.
I was overthinking it.
Right. So a lot of your music is tied into like the black family and just like the black experience. Like how impactful would you say that like that is, that it has an effect on you? Like how much does that shape your music and like who you are?
Cause family, like I always said, like I love music, but I'll never sacrifice my relationships, my family for it. You know, we live in an era of, and there's nothing wrong with that, get to the bag, grind it out. But people put careers over starting a family, which is more fruitful. And it's, like I said, that longevity, because you're not going to be here forever. So, you know, that's how I look at it. So, you know, for me, I'm just more of just trying to create that longevity and keep that going, keep things in my family.
Creating that legacy.
Yes. So, yeah, that's shaped a lot of, you know, my mom taught me very young, you know, as far as just loving myself, self-love, of being a young black girl in this world, you know, loving myself first.
Facts.
Loving my skin with the imperfections, loving my hair, you know what I'm saying, with the roughness, nappiness sometimes, like loving all of that. These are things my mom instilled in me very young. So
That's dope. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people aren't able to give that, and like if you let the TV tell it, let social media tell it, you'll be lost out here really trying to find it. So how important is those images? Because like when I seen you, I was like, yo, like she looks like what I know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can you speak on that? How important the image is?
image is like, I always look at it like it's about what you're comfortable with, because being in this industry, I've had people come up to me and try to tell me I need to dress like this and look like that, and I'm like, I understand what you're saying, it's just not me. I'm not doing anything I'm not comfortable with, and that's the one thing I always respect about Spesh, because he's never pushed me to look like anything I didn't want to look like, and he's always encouraged and actually like pushed me, and actually been very proud of the image I have. Like he told me from the beginning, like this is what I was looking for. This is what I wanted to push. So I had a lot of respect for him for saying that, because I actually had somebody tell me, like it was a guy. He told me, he was like, he said one time, this was like maybe 2017, he's like, you don't even got a nasty song. You don't even like, it was crazy. Like, I love him to death, but like, I was like, yo, what? Like, he's talking about like how I was dressing. He was like, you gotta start wearing this. Wear dresses when you get in your video. I was like, man, I'm wearing what I'm comfortable wearing. Like, at the end of the day, like people.
You ain't got a nasty song.
Yeah, like they gon' listen. I'm not looking for validation. I've never been, and that's one thing too. That's a jewel I've always been that's been instilled in me. Never look for validation from people. Like I don't bootlick. So if you don't like me, that's on you. I'm not trying to prove nothing to nobody. Like, so.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope for sure. Yeah, it's one thing. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. The idea of marketability, right? Do you feel like the idea, like the concept of like branding and marketability, do you think that affected the creativity for just not like hip hop in general? Like
branding, the effect on like just creating hip hop?
Yeah, because somebody brought up the conversation to me, was like the idea of marketing, what's marketable is what started killing hip hop, in the sense of it put people's creativity in a box. Like, okay, you gotta
all just chasing that one sound.
Yeah, because it's all about the glitz and glamour, and
exactly.
It didn't start off like that. Yeah, I can say it does. It does, because it's not like, and that's what comes down to like being in the studio, and they're telling you, they putting on beats and telling you, okay, you need to do this type of song. Like they directing and telling you how to create, and that's not or it's not the way you're supposed to organically create music. It's supposed to be like how you feel first. Yeah, how you feel when you hear the music, how you feel and your emotions when you hear the beat. Not, oh, I hear this beat, they want me to make this type of song. They want me to talk about this. They want me to do this, rap like that. Like it's not genuine. So I can say that, yeah.
Yeah. When people lose focus of, I feel like, and just not even just with music, but just in life, a lot of it starts inside and it flows out, not the other way around.
Yeah,
People lose that.
They lose that looking at that phone screen all day.
Yeah, that'll do it to you.
So your project, you said the Lotus Child, entirely produced by you. When can we be expecting that? Can you talk about that some?
I don't have a date for it because it's still in the works, but I got about 5 joints done so far, and it's pretty good. It's sounding crazy. Yeah.
How many are you expecting to have on there?
I'm not sure. Like I'm gonna record this until I get, till I feel it's done, and then pick the best from there. That's usually how I've done any of my other projects. Like we'll record a handful of them and then just pick the best out of there. I'm always about what's best for the cohesiveness of the project. So it might be some times where it'd be a great track, and I don't want to take it out. That happened with the Apollo album. It was one song. It was me and my friend. We both loved that song, but it didn't go with the cohesiveness. Like it wasn't cohesive enough for the album. So, but yeah, I'm just, and then too, like I'm living life. Like I haven't. A lot of fans sometimes they'll think like us as artists, and you have some artists that do, but they think, oh, y'all in the studio every day, y'all rapping every day, y'all rapping 20 times, y'all making 20 songs a week. Nah, man, I probably only rapped a handful of times this year so far, like because. You got to go through life and experience things to have content. Yeah. Exactly. So, I've been going through some things and now it's just making for greater content,
Dope.
That's why the COVID and quarantine was so hard for everybody. Because you couldn't experience life and go out there.
You can't experience and do nothing. Yeah. So you got to go through life.
No, that's a fact. Do you have any like dream collabs that you want to tap into or
just
anything?
One, right? Like, to be honest with you, if I get a Rapsody feature, I'll be all right. Rapsody feature and Nas.
You gotta get a Foxy one too.
Foxy, but I don't think she can rap because she deaf, ain't she? I think she deaf now.
She was on the Nas album, wasn't she?
I know she lost a lot of hearing. That's just like real
I don't think she can hear fully.
She had a verse on the Nas album though.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope. Yeah, but like a Rapsody number 1, I gotta like that's like the most highly anticipated feature. Like they've been asking me this since 2019.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So but like a Nas, like I feel like that may be a far reach, but hey, that could happen. Like I always said
matter of fact, I think. Because when, I don't know if y'all seen the T.I., I ain't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
The T.I. Expeditiously when Benny and Young Thug was on there. And Rapsody, they like FaceTimed her. She was on there too. And Benny had brought up You and Love. And he was like, you ever heard of like Shay Noir, Letter Jeans or something like that. And I think she was saying like, I heard of him, but I still got to tap in. So yeah.
Yeah, Rapsody shouted me out a bunch of times. I've talked to her before.
Yeah.
We just, it's I look at it like it may just be the politics of the game. Like, you gotta put that work in to get them to come outside sometimes.
Nah, that's a fact.
So that's how I look at it. I don't take it personal. It's some R&B artists I want to collab with bad, like SZA, Snow Allegra.
That'd be fire.
I like Ari Lennox. Like,
yeah, Ari's the truth.
Yeah.
What would you say was your biggest? You just spoke on the politics. What was your biggest learning curve like coming in there? Like you say, like we know you got bars, but like some people out here that we never heard of who got bars. So what was that thing you had to learn about the industry that helped you become who you are now, where you at?
That image is more important than what you're saying. Like they only care really about how you look and like what's marketable. It's not really about what you're saying. For them, I would say for more industry wise, I feel like it's slowly trying to get back there, but it's just not there yet. So just politics with that. It's times where, like, they may call and say, "Okay, did you go to the mall this week? Did you buy a new outfit? Put the outfit on real quick and take a picture and post it on." Like,
did you hold up the money
like
phone?
Right. Yeah, it's weird. That's happened to me. So but it's just the image is image. you know, and I don't even think music is under that, to be honest with you. I have to think about, because I think music may be third or fourth.
Something else.
No, that's for real, though. That's for real, though.
So, I also learned too with this business, like it's really, somebody told me this years ago and I ain't get it, but it's really 90% business and 10% music. If your business is not in order, that music do not matter. Like, cause you can't, there's no way to market your music if you don't have good business. Cause first of all, you're not getting paid properly. Like, you got to be able to make sure you get all your expenses for what you putting in. You know, things about publishing, royalties and stuff. You need to learn these things.
Facts.
Like,
yeah.
You know, when you start, I'm at a point now where I'm starting to make I done made way more music. I made the most music of my life last year. So these are things that you have to, you know, take account for. Like, you know, when you on doing your BMI stuff, the publishing and all of that, you know, it's a lot. Like, even sitting down, like, and doing deals and having to read contracts and having a lawyer on retainer. These are things I didn't know. I'm like, oh my gosh, it messes up your business. And then I would say your music more, because you, like, I'm getting to that space where I'm able to hire people to help with things like this. But man, it'd be a lot when you try to do it by yourself. That's why, you know, learn as much as you can. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, with the lawyer on retainer thing, like, that's a real, I was like, dang, that's how much? I ain't got that right now. That's crazy. But yeah, just having your business in order, and like, what else? It was some other stuff. I was just like, that's kind of like, and even like being an artist and understanding that music is not where it stops, like, as far as getting money from it. So investing in your money, but you got to find the right thing to invest in.
Investment, sponsors, all of that.
You know, you get some artists who get lucky where they blow up off of one merch drop and they're able to turn that to a clothing line. Some artists don't really get that lucky. So, you know, just being able to invest it in something, like, I think it's dope. I see Benny, he just started a sports agency. Like, that's smart as hell.
That's
like,
fire.
So it's fire. Like, you know, just keeping that money going, like, keeping the money flowing.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff with, like, NFTs and stuff, like, with the cryptocurrencies, and they got their little things going. And, like, that's
money sitting is not good. It's not good to have money sitting. You gotta,
yo.
Even if you just put it in, I always say, like, years ago, somebody told me, like, when you get some money, just put it in the stock market, even if you ain't got the idea yet, because you ain't getting no interest if you put it in the bank. Yeah, exactly.
Or send in a mattress.
Do your thing, put it in that, and just let it sit.
So do you have plans to maybe start, like, a record label or something one day?
I do. And I have an artist that I've been working with. His name Jinx. We working on it's gonna be my first, like, project I'm producing for another artist. But as far as, like, signing artists and, like, I don't know, I still got a lot to learn before I start doing that. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's I've been studying music for years.
And you learn something new every day.
Every day. Yeah. I just got introduced to, like, what's the radio side of stuff. I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is this?
Oh, I seen that book on your table, the everything you need to know about the music business.
Like, I tell you on camera, but that might wrap it up. I know we getting closer too. I know you got
anything else you want to touch on or talk about?
No, this is a good conversation. Very fruitful.
That's we try to drop gems and let some for our audience. They appreciate us. We getting a lot of love and feedback. Definitely thanks to y'all, man. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing. You know what I mean? Want to close this out, Dante?
Yeah, man. Well, you already said it all.
You got to do the classic. Yo, this is No Label. We out. Peace.
But nah, where can everybody find you at Instagram, Twitter, all of that?
So you can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Shay_Noir, CHE_NOIR. Get merch on Shay-Noir, CHE-NOIR.com with merch, vinyl, signed vinyl, CDs, videos, all of that.
All that.
Fire.
Appreciate you pulling up.
No problem. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, no doubt.
No Label the Pod. We out.
Peace.
She watching me like a nigga is cable.